Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about a real life problem that a student in the Hotel Florist Profit Method brought to my attention. Now, this podcast is, as we know, for florists looking to land hotel partnerships. And this could be florists that have never even thought about landing hotel partnerships to seasoned florists and hotel florists who already have their partnerships, but maybe they're struggling a little bit with the relationship or they want to perhaps design in a different way, or maybe they want to land a new client. Maybe they've inherited this current hotel client. So I thought today's episode would be really handy when it comes to dealing with real life issues because it doesn't it doesn't stop right when you land your hotel client. It's only the beginning. The thing with the hospitality industry, and especially when you're working with hotels, that you need to remember is that this is the one business that never closes its doors. And on top of that, they are the business that is in business for taking care of other people. And so they're going to be more detail oriented. They're going to be probably a little bit more critical at times. And so it's up to us not to take any of those things personally. And so let's dive in. I received an email and it is titled Problem, and it literally reads this, and maybe you can relate. A new manager has been appointed for the hotel. We don't know the new manager's start date, but what we do know is that this person has a very good relationship with another florist in town who did flowers for another hotel that he was the manager at in his previous life. Now, furthermore, I know for a fact that this florist has always tried to get in as the florist of the current hotel that I am the hotel florist for, and I'm very concerned right now, and I would love to get your feedback on this. So, first and foremost, it is totally normal to have concerns around our hotel contracts, and competition is a good thing because it means that there is demand. So, I'm going to work through what I told this student and what I believe to be true and how I would handle it if this was my situation as well. So I immediately reached back out to her and I said, look, you've got a signed contract and therefore you cannot be circumvented. So this is why having a contract is so incredibly important. And unfortunately, her contract at the time of this email expired the next month. So I quickly I asked to see the contract, I reviewed it. One great thing when you are in the Hotel Florist Profit Method course, you get a copy of my exact contract that I use for my hotel clients with specific clauses in there to avoid just this. And, I looked over it and I did realize that there was a termination clause that really wasn't in her favor. But the one thing that was really great about it is that it went into this automatic 12-month renewal period. However, in the contract, the hotel could give her a 60-day termination warning. So, of course, I'm instantly like, look, is this what you're nervous about? I totally get it. I would be nervous about this as well. And so she confirmed that this was her concern. And this was my reply to her. So if you are in a similar situation, I wanted to share this information with you in hopes that it would help you as well. I said, bottom line is that you want a new contract, so one that actually protects you, higher profit margins, and ultimately keeping your client. So if you've been in the course with me, or if you've worked with me or followed me for a while, you know I'm a very no BS person when it comes to data over drama. Like, what is it that we're actually trying to do here? And I'm a huge fan of psychology backed exercises, especially like CTFAR, which basically is circumstance, thought, feelings, actions, results. So that's like a whole nother episode. But just to give you a little bit of background to help you understand why I wrote this email and how I wrote it. You only have so much energy. And if you're spending energy worried about this other florist and them coming after your account, you will have less energy focused on keeping the account. So it's only natural, again, to be nervous. This is our bread and butter. This is what our companies are built on. We need this revenue. But this is also a great time and opportunity to become very strategic on what were the three things that we need to do. We need to get a contract that actually protects us. We would like to have higher profit margins. And ultimately, we would like to keep our client to continue serving them. So I said, look at what you were actually paid for last year compared to the work you did. It was a very difficult year. It seemed that, even though the florist delivered 100% of what the contract stated, the hotel picked and chose kind of what they paid for. So we already know there's a little bit of discrepancy there. So I said, it sounds like maybe you did 100% of the work, but you were paid for 70% of it. Now it's time to offer the hotel a better deal with more value. So have a meeting with the new GM and go in with his or her interest, not what your interest is, what their interest may be. And say something like, hey, I evaluated what worked really well last year, and I'd like to propose a 30% decrease in our cost if we can implement these changes. For example, they'll want to sign anywhere where they can save money, but still, not have the headache of having to switch vendors and at the same time get more value, because it makes them look really good for ownership. What a lot of people forget about, or a lot of florists or hotel florists forget about because they don't know, and the only reason I know this is because I have a degree in hotel and restaurant management. I've worked from operations up to corporate level, both domestically and abroad. So I know the hospitality industry very, very well. The hotel brands are hired by ownership to manage their asset. Therefore, whatever makes them look good in front of ownership is a big win in their book. And so that's what we need to keep in mind. So they're going to want to sign. You can revise a cancellation clause without bringing that to their attention, and you can get paid for the work that you actually do, probably with higher profit margins. And ultimately, you keep your client by adding more value and adding to their bottom line. And guess what? Everyone is happy. So I went on to say, look, I don't really know the specifics of what you're offering, but I hope this was helpful. I reminded her that her job isn't to focus on the other florists and the beliefs around that situation. Her job is to keep the account, and she can negotiate that by putting herself in the hotel's shoes and determining what would be of most value to them, and then proposing it in a way that is of most value to her. That is the one thing that is like the ace up her sleeve that she has that the other florist doesn't, is that she is their in-house florist. She's been their in-house florist for longer than this other florist has been, obviously. And so she actually knows the needs, and she has that leg up on any other competition. I also reminded her, because I think this is a great reminder for all of us, that she is the only person that knows the terms of the contract off the top of her head. And so just stop losing your energy worrying about that. Focus on how you can add more value for what they actually paid for last year, and revise your contract accordingly to protect yourself better for the future. I hope that this was helpful. The whole reason of having the Hotel Florist podcast is to share with you not only how to land your hotel partnerships, but how to keep your hotel partnerships. I want to remain transparent with any type of problems that may arise, and how you can solve them by giving you the tools and the confidence to pick up the phone or have that meeting and create that relationship. Bottom line is, the hospitality industry is all about relationships, and it takes two to tango. I'll see you in the next episode.